This is Plant-Based Briefing, How to Slow Cancer Growth by Dr. Michael Greger at nutritionfacts.org. And I'm Marian Erickson, host of this curated content plant-based podcast, where I narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. I'm thrilled to have permission from Nutrition Facts to share their amazing content. And before I get into it, I wanted to give a shout out and say thank you to Vegan Chick 81 for giving a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. They said, very informative. Just found this podcast and I'm really enjoying it. It is so informative and interesting. So thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I really appreciate it. And having high ratings and reviews can help others decide to listen when they come across it. So thank you so very much for taking the time. And now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. How to Slow Cancer Growth by Michael Greger, MD at nutritionfacts.org. Many of us have tumors growing inside us right now. While most people develop cancer, slowing its growth can help us unknowingly live with it rather than die from it. 1 cancer cell never hurt anyone. 2 cancer cells never hurt anyone. But 1 billion cancer cells, that's when we start getting into trouble. So we have to slow, even reverse, the division and growth of cancer cells. We all have cells that could grow into tumors, but if we slow them down, our immune systems may have a chance to clean them up before they hurt us. Take breast cancer, for example, the most common internal cancer among American women. Like all cancers, it starts with a single cell, which then divides and becomes 2 cells, then 4, then 8, and so on. Every time the cells divide, the tiny tumor doubles in size. It only needs to double about 30 times, and we're up to 1 billion cancer cells, which is a tumor just large enough to be felt and picked up by mammography. Even though a tumor only has to double 30 times, it may take anywhere from about 50 days to 1,000 days for a cancer cell to double just once. So that means from the time that first cell mutates, it takes between a few years and nearly a century before it grows to show up as a little tumor we can see. The shortest known interval between exposure to a carcinogen and the development of cancer is about 18 months, which is when some of the first leukemia cases started appearing after Hiroshima. Cancers need time to grow, and for most solid tumors, meaning non-blood tumors, cancer takes decades to develop. The ovarian cancer you get diagnosed with at the average age of 62 started growing 44 years earlier. So you've had cancer since you were 18 years old, you just didn't know it. Some breast cancers may even start in the womb before we're even born, and may depend in part on what your mom ate. The process of cancer development happens in stages. The first stage is cancer initiation, the irreversible DNA mutation that turns that first cell bad. But then we move to the promotion stage of cancer, which is reversible. If we don't promote the tumor growth, it can stay hidden forever or even disappear. When I was a teen, I ate a lot of processed meat, bacon, hot dogs, known human carcinogens, meaning they cause cancer. I very well may have mutated one of the cells in my colon. It can take 50 years for colon cancer to show up after it's been initiated. Cancer may have been initiated by a DNA mutation, but if we don't promote it, if we keep it dormant, if we slow it down, we may be able to even reverse its growth. I mean, I don't care if the cancer shows up 100 years from now. I don't imagine I'll be around to worry about it. Take prostate cancer. More men die with prostate cancer than because of it. According to autopsy studies in Japan, there is about as much hidden prostate cancer there as we have in the United States, but their risk of dying from prostate cancer was 40 times lower until they started westernizing their diets and started eating more like us with more animal foods and fewer plants. Japan has among the longest life expectancies, but when Japanese men finally do die, many have tiny prostate tumors, but they die with their cancer instead of from their cancer. By their 60s, the majority of men, nearly 2/3, have tiny prostate cancer tumors whether they know it or not, and nearly 1 in 3 men in their 30s is already brewing cancer in their prostates. Similarly, if you look at forensic autopsies of middle-aged women, more than 1/3 were already harboring cancer in their breast when they were only in their 40s. Yet the risk of dying from breast cancer at that age is less than 1%. In fact, your cumulative risk of ever dying from breast cancer in your lifetime is less than 4%. So most breast cancers, just like most prostate cancers, grow so slowly that you can live your whole life not even knowing you have them. It's like atherosclerosis. About half of young Americans already have atherosclerotic plaques, hardening of their coronary arteries, by their 20s. So what we think of as diet and lifestyle prevention for both of our leading killers, heart disease and cancer, may actually be diet and lifestyle treatment. At this very moment, many of us have tumors growing inside of us, so we can't wait until later to start eating healthier. We have to start now. How can we slow and even reverse cancer while it's still microscopic? Well, for prostate and breast cancers, those tissues tend to be sensitive to growth-promoting hormones. Scientists from UCLA placed women on a plant-based diet with exercise and found that the levels of all measured growth hormones in their blood dropped dramatically within just 2 weeks. What would do that to cancer? The researchers drew the women's blood before and after those 2 weeks and dripped them onto 3 types of breast cancer cells growing in petri dishes. Cancer growth was powering away at 100%, but after just 2 weeks of eating healthfully and walking, the blood of women on the plant-based diet reduced their cancer growth rates by 12%, and cancer cell death, apoptosis, shot up by 24%. After just 2 weeks of moving on a plant-based diet, the blood circulating throughout their entire bodies was that much more inhospitable to cancer. At this very moment, many of us have tumors growing inside of us, so we can't wait until we're older to start eating and living healthier. We have to start now, tonight. You just listened to How to Slow Cancer Growth by Michael Greger, MD at nutritionfacts.org, and I'm Marian Erickson, your host, and this is actually a very positive message, in my opinion, that we can make some changes later in life and still have an impact on our health. We can't control everything, of course. You could be the healthiest person in the world, doing the diet and lifestyle thing completely perfectly, but you can't control your environment. There are so many other factors that might cause you to get cancer or get a disease. But like Dr. Kim Williams, former president of the American College of Cardiology, is famous for saying, "I don't mind dying, I just don't want it to be my fault." So please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.